Today, I just wanted to sit down and share with you guys the makeup techniques that really changed my game when it comes to makeup. And I wish I knew these techniques sooner so my makeup looked better, but it's okay. Better late than never. This is my everyday makeup bag. This just sits on my vanity, or whenever I travel, I take this one. And this has all the makeup that I pretty much use. Doesn't matter how much you spend on your brushes, just make sure they're really good quality. And now you can get really nice brushes from like Morphe, like on the lower end, higher end, doesn't matter. I have a little bit of both high end and Morphe brushes. I think Morphe is my favorite when it comes to like the more affordable side of brushes. I'm gonna start with a corrector. This is the first thing I do whenever I do my makeup. And this is just the Huda Beauty corrector. I have this in the shade Peach. This is a mini version. I like to apply my corrector under my eyes and around my mouth. And then just taking my fingers, I'm just going to blend that in. I really like to blend concealer and corrector with my fingers sometimes because I like the way that it warms the product into my skin. Oh, also, I completely forgot to mention this. So 10 minutes before I even sat down and I'm starting to do my makeup, I just used the Rhode glazing milk. You guys already know how much I love this product. And then also the Rhode barrier butter. These two are my holy grails, just skincare in general. What I love about these two is that during the day they sit so nicely on your skin and they sit really well under makeup. So you want to find skin prep products that actually lay really well under your makeup. Next, we're gonna go with face concealer. So I'm gonna take my NARS, this is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, and I have this in the shade Caramel. Now this is like, I wanna say a little bit deeper than my skin tone, just a little bit. And I would recommend that your face concealer just be a little bit deeper than your under eye concealer or your foundation, just because I feel like it does two things. It's going to cover and it's also going to correct. Is this around my hyperpigmentation, so like my chin, on the side of my nose, and then any kind of like blemishes or scars that I have. I'm not going to go in with a foundation. This is the part where if you want to use a foundation, you can use a foundation. I'm going to go in with a skin tint. Go in with some Kylie Cosmetics skin tint. It's not matte, but it's not super glowy. And I just feel like it sits on the skin so well. It's also very blurring, which is what I like. Because we did go with that NARS concealer, I'm not going to put a lot of this on. I just want this to blend that concealer with my natural skin. Using the Say brush to blend out my foundation and that face concealer because this does such a good job of blending out your base products. I'm just going to go ahead and do my brows now. I'm going to use the Sephora Fluff and Fix Brow Wax. I'm just going to use this. I'm not going to use any other product on my brows. Next, after that, I'm just going to go straight in with my contour. So I'm going to use my Fenty contour stick, and I have this in the shade Suedish number 10, and just apply this everywhere that I would normally want to contour or bronze with. I've honestly just found that cream bronzer is my favorite, and I specifically love the Fenty contour sticks. It's just my favorite. I like how the formula is soft enough that you can really blend it out easily, but I also like how it's matte. It's just not going to slip around your face. Just going to go in with this hourglass brush to blend out the contour. A smaller brush, this is the Rare Beauty, I believe it's their concealer brush. It's so beat up because I've had this for so long. I've been really liking this Westman Atelier contour stick in the shade Cocoa as my blush. All this packaging is just so luxe and heavy and pretty, but then look at the color on this blush. It's so pretty. Like, I can't describe it. If you are a brown girl and you want a beige cream blush, like, this is it. I love how this doesn't pull too much pink on my skin, and it gives me like the perfect like beige blush look. And blend this out with the smaller side and the Mario F4 brush. It out so easily, and I just love this color. It's so pretty. The best techniques that I learned this past year was to do like your blush and cream, your cream blush and cream contour before you do your under eye concealer. And seriously was just such a great tip because my face just doesn't look as messy or splotchy. It's like everything has its placement and it looks good. So now we're gonna go in with under eye concealer, and I'm gonna use the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. And I have this in the shade Khaki, by the way, which is 6.25. I'm going to not place this directly under the eyes, but a little bit like lower, I guess. So I'm gonna place it right there. I just do one little dot on the outer and then just a little bit lower there. So I usually like to let my concealer marinate, and I go and I do like the rest of my face. But I do find with the Hourglass concealer is you can't let this marinate for too long, because then what happens is that it just dries up and it looks really dry under the eyes. So with the Hourglass concealer, I do make that exception, and I just go ahead and blend it out within the first 30 seconds of applying it. But for blending out my concealer, I've been loving using the Sephora 47 brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. And as I'm blending out my concealer, I'm taking whatever is left under my eyes, but I'm not going directly like right at the root of my lower lash line. You see how well the concealer kind of cleaned out that blush and that contour. I love that technique. Now I'm gonna go ahead and set everything because we're done with all the creams, and I am gonna go with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Finish Airbrush Powder thing. I don't know, it's such a long name. I'm gonna go directly under my eyes. That is where I obviously crease. I also like to set my lids, my chin, and then forehead. Where I always like to go an extra step with under my eyes because my concealer does crease. So I take the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Duo. I have this in Cherry Peach, so it comes with I think 2 shades, which is Cherry Blossom Cake and Peach Pie. This really locks in that under eye concealer, and using this technique, your under eyes will not crease. I just love how brightening that powder is as well. Powder blush, and then I don't use a powder bronzer, because I just really haven't found a powder bronzer that I like the shade, the undertone and everything in the formula, and B, I just think that Fenty contour stick, like look, you can still see it regardless of all the powder we put on top, and it just looks so good. Like I love that Fenty contour stick, you guys. So yeah, I'm not going to use a powder bronzer, but I am going to go in with a powder blush, and this is the MAC Harmony blush. I know it looks crazy in the pan, but when I tell you guys, this is the perfect beige blush for my skin tone. Like I cannot emphasize that enough. And MAC is actually discontinuing these original powder blushes from their line because I think they're reformulating them without talc. MAC has some of my favorite blushes, like Melba by MAC is my holy grail. I love that, and I'm now going to cherish the one that I have because now that they're reformulating them, I don't know if they're going to come out with a shade like that. So I'm just going to do my eyes. I go with the Violette FRU paint, which is their matte liquid eyeshadow in the shade Tendre Corail, which is tender coral. Just with this color. The only thing is with these shadows, if you have really oily eyelids and you suffer from your eyeshadow creasing, you might not like this product because it does crease on me a little bit, and I have very dry lids. Ahead and applied this L'Oreal, I think this is the Extensionist mascara. Really like this a lot. Last thing to do before lips is we're just going to go ahead and set our makeup. This is the Milani Make It Last Original Setting Spray. Love this for day to day. And then if I want my makeup to last longer, one size setting powder, you know, the one that's like deadly when you like spray it on your face. It's like, what the heck? But yeah, that's the one I use when I really want my makeup to last like all day, or I'm like going to a wedding and you know, you just want your makeup to be matte and last forever. such a great setting spray. I love this stuff. Now that we have a little bit of life back into our face, let's just finish off the makeup look with the lips. I truthfully have way too much lip products than I would like to admit. First, go in with the Mary Phillips lip liner, and this is in the shade Bittersweet. It's just a perfect brown lip liner. I actually really like this color a lot. See like how pretty that is. Like, I love the shade. It's such a nice shade. And then on top of that, I'm going to go in with this MAC lipstick in Mull It Over. I don't even know if they make these anymore. I got this as a freebie when I went to MAC one day. Kinda sorta want to put a gloss on top. I don't know if I should because I really like that, but you know what, we're gonna put a gloss on top. I'm gonna go in with the Kylie Cosmetics gloss, and this is in the shade Nude Kiss. So yeah, this is nice. All right, you guys, so that is the finished makeup look, and this is pretty much how I do my makeup. The only thing that I didn't show you guys, and that was because I was way too lazy to go and grab it, it's on my counter. It's my Sephora waterproof black eyeliner. I like to use that to tightline my upper waterline only, and I just think that makes such a big difference. It gives that appearance of like you have thick lashes. Even if you don't, I definitely don't. Wish I did my makeup like this like 5-10 years ago. Actually, let's zoom you guys in. This is how the skin looks when I zoom you guys in. My smile lines under my eyes, but the way that I did my makeup, the way that I set it, I'm not kidding you guys, makeup doesn't settle into my lines, and look at that, like no creasing under the eyes. Didn't do anything except brow gel for brows. Sometimes I do fill them in, it just kind of depends. Bronzer, just everything looks so blended. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.